Welcome to Đồng Nai Radio and Television Station. Here are the news today. According to a global management consulting firm, McKinsey and Company, despite the impact of the COVID pandemic, Vietnam's economy may soon recover from its pre-crisis growth. According to McKinsey and Company, there are two factors that can help Vietnam's economy gradually overcome the difficult periods caused by the pandemic. The first factor is that Vietnam has successfully controlled the disease and there have been no new infections in the community for more than 2 months. Vietnam was the first country to reopen the economy after 3 weeks of closure to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The second factor is related to the consumer market in Vietnam. Increased spending by the middle class led to a boom in the national consumer market. Domestic spending now accounts for nearly 70% of Vietnam's gross domestic product. The Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee held a conference on advocacy and religious solidarity in 2020 in the form of online at 65 bridges nationwide. Delegates listened to Professor Dr. Hoàng Chí Bảo, senior lecturers at Ho Chi Minh National Academy of Politics, and Professor Dr. Hồ Quang Hưng, the chairman of the Religious Advisory Council, introduced the following topics. Ho Chi Minh's thought on great national unity, Ho Chi Minh's thought on solidarity of religions, relation to religions policies in our country today, and the implementation of the projects strengthening advocacy, solidarity of religions in our country today. The conference also discussed and shared experiences on a campaign of religious solidarity, thereby helping to better understand Ho Chi Minh's thought about great national unity, solidarity of religions and the party's guidelines, state policies, and laws on beliefs and religions. The Ministry of Transport had proposed that government agrees to organize regular international commercial flights to Guangzhou of China, Seoul of South Korea, Tokyo of Japan, Taiwan of China, Vientiane of Laos, Phnom Penh of Cambodia, with a frequency of 1 trip per week per destination from the beginning of August. Thus, it is expected that 2,500 to 3,000 passengers will be brought to Vietnam each week on regular flights. According to Forbes magazine, on July 17th, satellite images showed that at least 4 Chinese fighters were illegally present on Phu Lam Island in Vietnam's Palazzo Islands in the South China Sea. A satellite image of French National Space Research Center on Phu Lam on July 15 shows at least 4 Chinese fighters illegally deployed there. The fighters arrived on the island of Phu Lam 2 days after the United States vetoed most of China's sovereignty claims over the South China Sea. Chinese fighters are said to be tasked with dealing with U.S. naval exercises in the Southeast Sea and its military presence in the regions. China recently implemented many drastic activities after the COVID-19 epidemic to put pressures on surrounding countries and territories. Images of Chinese aircraft appeared in the context of 2 U.S. aircraft carrier combat groups conducting exercises in the South China Sea for the second time in less than 2 weeks. The website of the U.S. Navy 7th Fleet reported that the USS Nimitz and USS Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier combat groups continued to conduct joint exercises and conduct operations in the South China Sea from July 17th, just days after the U.S. issued an official statement to reject China's illegal sovereignty claimed in the region. According to the U.S. Pacific Fleet, the 2 aircraft carrier groups continue to use a total of 12,000 sailors, marines, and more than 120 aircraft to conduct tactical air defense exercises to maintain combat readiness. The 2 groups of ships had exercised in the South China Sea from 4 to 7 of July to the Indian Ocean and returned to the Philippine Sea. That is the end of the news today. Thank you for tuning in.